Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessie. Today I'm gonna do the booktube newbie tag. I've seen it kind of going around again recently, and I kind of realized that I don't think I've told you guys much about me, so I have 15 questions to answer. Some of these I think have been in the other videos, but I think I added some. I wrote these questions out a while ago, so I don't completely remember what questions I have. Let's get into it. Okay, question 1 is, why did I start this channel? I started completely for fun. I like reading. I think it's fun editing these videos and making the thumbnails and everything. Honestly, completely for fun. Question 2, what are some unique things I can bring to booktube? I guess number 1 would be, I have a chronic illness. I see people on here that read like crazy amounts of books, and I would love for that to be me, don't get me wrong, but I'm just physically not able to do that sometimes. So I feel like maybe I can set a more realistic standard for just like regular people, you know? And I also am not really into romance books. I would love to be, don't get me wrong, I would love to be, but I have tried and I'm just not that person. They don't interest me, I don't know. And like, I would love to have all those cute colorful books on my shelves, but I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I just can't make myself like them. Okay, question 3. What book or series got you into reading? So I read a lot when I was in like grade school. Classic Harry Potter. I really loved The Maze Runner. The Maze Runner was like my number one, like even more than Harry Potter, and I like forget about that sometimes. And then throughout high school, I for some reason decided I didn't want to read anything ever, like not even like books that were assigned like for school, until my senior year when I got to do like elective English classes. I was in Gothic Lit and Sci-Fi Lit, and I loved those classes so much. And for part of the Gothic Lit class, we got to like pick books to like try and find Gothic themes in, and the book I picked was Salem's Lot. It's actually kind of funny to think about because we like took a little walk down to the library during class, and the librarian had just like 4 copies of Salem's Lot that she just like set on a table for us to pick if we wanted, like to take home. And I remember being like, well, I don't want to like walk around this entire library for that long, so like I'll just take this book. And it's like one of my favorite books now, so it's crazy how things work out. Question 4, why do you love reading? Part of it, I think, used to be escapism, I guess. And then when I was first dealing with my chronic illness, I started reading more just because I couldn't get up and do things like I used to anymore. So I was kind of trying to figure out things I could do for fun that didn't involve a lot of movement. Yeah, that answer ended up being kind of sad. Question 5, who are my favorite booktubers? I really like Destiny Sidwell. She does do book content, but she also does more like daily vlogs and weekly vlogs and stuff, and I think those are fun. She is more of a romance reader, so I can't take some of her book recommendations, but I love like the aesthetic of her videos and everything, so I still love to watch her. I also really like Katie's reading. She does like journaling content too, and I love journaling. She likes vampire books, and I love vampires. I watch so many, but those are probably my 2 main ones. Okay, number 6. What challenges will be most difficult to overcome with your booktube channel? Probably mostly consistency. You know, I'm in school, I do have a chronic illness. Filming videos and editing and all that, I have a hard time being consistent, especially because it's like not my main thing, you know? But whenever I have time, I'm hoping to be more consistent. I really hope I can be more consistent this summer, but I guess we will see. I guess the only other challenge I can think of is that I think I'm a slow reader. If I'm not like able to be consistent with reading, then I won't have a lot to talk about because I'm slow. Does that make sense? Question 7, where do you like to read? I am not that picky. I mostly just read in bed. I turn on like ambiance on my TV and just read. Aesthetically, I like to read at cafes, or I still live with my parents and we have a pool, and we have like the little egg chairs next to the pool. Those are fun, but yeah, I'm not too picky. I can read in the car, I can read anywhere. I don't really have that much of a preference, but yeah, I mostly just lay in bed. Question 8. What kind of books do you like to read? Mainly horror, thriller, mystery type books. My other main one would probably be fantasy. I feel like I was more into fantasy when I was younger, and I still do like it, but I'm growing more to like just like horror books. Yeah, I like weird books, and I don't know what it is about me, but I like books with like weird like mythology, like religious connotations. So like Bad Ones was my first 5-star book of this year. I read a book called American Gods for school. Kind of sad because the author has like essay allegations against him now, so can't read any of his other works because I don't want to support him. It was really weird. I really did like it though. Question 9. What are your favorite authors? I think right now my favorite author is V.E. Schwab. I read Vicious last year and I loved it, and I'm in the middle of Vengeful right now. I keep seeing on her Instagram that she's talking about releasing a 3rd book to that series next year, and I'm really excited about it. Probably V.E. Schwab, or I'm gonna say this and people are gonna think that it's contradicting my not liking romance books. I really like Alice Oseman. I love the Heartstopper series, and I know that sounds crazy because I went on about how I don't like romance books, but Heartstopper is just like so much more than romance, I think. It also has like found family and like identity issues, and it talks about self-harm, but it also talks about those harder topics like realistically, and I feel like it doesn't like romanticize them like some other books do. I don't think that contradicts my romance hatred, but yeah, favorite authors: V.E. Schwab, Alice Oseman. Question 10. What's a book you always recommend new readers? I feel like most times people ask me for book recommendations, they want like fantasy recommendations, so I always recommend Vicious. It's fantasy, but the setting is modern day, so it's not like super difficult to understand. There's no like crazy made up worlds with like all the politics. It's like our world. And Vicious, it's a really cool concept. The whole concept is that like if you have a near-death experience, you get superpowers. And so these two friends have near-death experiences, and it works, so they end up getting superpowers. But one is a superhero and one is a supervillain, but it's like really difficult to figure out which one is which at some points. Like they're both like morally gray. I think it's a really fun read, so I always tend to recommend that one. Question 11. Favorite way to organize books? Don't look at them right now. I don't know if you can see, but there's books over here in stacks that I took with me to school. I haven't gotten to put them back on my shelf yet, so everything's just kind of a disaster. But anyway, when they are organized, I do try to keep like genres and authors together, but my shelves are also mostly organized just based on vibe. I don't really have like a set thing that I stick to. Like I have like a Harry Potter shelf all the way up here. This one is like nostalgic childhood books, so I have like The Maze Runner and Percy Jackson on this shelf that you can't see, and then like I have fantasy, and I don't know what this shelf is. The shelf is so confusing, but I keep meaning to fix it and I just haven't. So I try to keep things organized, but it's mostly just vibes, to be honest. Question 12. What's a book you wish more people talked about? I wish more people talked about The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. I love that book, and I feel like I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Like I just picked it up randomly at Barnes & Noble, and I loved that book. I wish more people talked about it. To a lesser degree, because I feel like some people have talked about this book, I wish more people talked about The Push. I forget who it's by, forgive me, but I tried to read Baby Teeth because I saw people talking about that book, and I hated that book. I could not get through it. And then I read The Push, and The Push was everything that I wanted Baby Teeth to be. Both like psychological thrillers centering like the relationship between a daughter and her mom. I think Baby Teeth was the first book I ever DNF'd, because I used to like really stick with books, and I like if I started them I had to finish them. Baby Teeth put an end to that, and I could not get through it, and I loved The Push. The Push was so good. Question 13. What are your current reads? So I'm in the middle of like 3 books right now. I mentioned Vengeful earlier. Really want to finish that one. I started Fourth Wing. Please don't hate me, but I'm like not that into it. Yeah, I'm just like, it's okay. Like I don't not like it, but I don't understand all the hype yet. And hopefully I'll end up liking it. The other book that I'm in the middle of is It by Stephen King. I started reading that last summer and I got like almost exactly halfway through. I really want to finish it this summer, but I don't know how realistic that is. I've started it like 6 times maybe in my life and then gotten like two chapters in and then realized how much of a time commitment it was gonna be and then got scared of the time commitment and then put it down. So last summer I finally made it halfway through. I'm determined to finish this book, but I don't know when. Question 14. Do you reread books? Yes, I do, 100%. I love rereading books. I'm the kind of person that like has like a comfort movie or like I have like a couple comfort YouTube videos that I just put on. I reread Harry Potter during quarantine and that was a lot of fun. I just feel like it's fun to like go back and see what you missed the first time. I really want to reread Salem's Lot. I also want to reread like books I read as a kid, so like I really want to reread the Percy Jackson series. Maybe I'll make a video out of that. That could be fun. Yes, I 100% reread books. Last question. If you could only read one genre for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would probably have to say fantasy, just because I feel like fantasy has so much more variety. Like you can put horror elements into a fantasy book, like just horror books. Like, to a certain extent, they follow like the same pattern a lot. I feel like I'd have to go fantasy because you can just combine so many different elements into a fantasy book. I feel like it'd be harder to get bored if I had to pick one, if I read fantasy for the rest of my life. That was all my questions. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked this video, and I will see you guys soon.